before you're crucified with your own thoughts. I want you to know that 2 Corinthians 12:9 tells us that his grace is sufficient. Let me tell you, me, I've realized that the things of God are very unpredictable. You know how you place a judgment like on a man like David? Because I always imagine that if David was in this generation and era, no one would have believed that this is a man after God's heart. No one. Because he did things that could prove he was a weak man. A man who wasn't moving, though aligned, but wasn't moving exactly how God wanted him to move. God wants us to forgive. He doesn't expect a murder from someone who knows him. Doesn't, believe in adultery. He doesn't, like he has given us, the rules and regulations that we're supposed to follow. Now, this is a David that breaks, the one that broke the rules. And if it was this generation, the way I know, the way we are judgmental, the way we place judgments on men, we wouldn't have believed that David was clearly a man after God's heart. Would have refused. But then Paul is giving us an insight that it is not because you're perfect that he loves you. It is not because you are without a weakness that he has called you or has chosen you. It is not because, no. And when we go back from the foundations of the world, let's start with Abraham. Abraham comes from a family of sorcery or witchcraft. But the grace of the Lord picked him among the men and said, I know that your family has always worshipped idols. You come from an idolatry family. But I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to start a new generation with you. You see that grace? You see that grace? That he can even pick a man whose father is so much into witchcraft or sorcery, and it draws him to the saving grace of our Father. Let's move to Moses. Moses, somehow, for me, when I read Moses, if it was this, at a point I felt angry. I was like, that guy, God revealed himself to him. God is telling him, I've called you. First of all, I made you survive on the water. I took you to the palace to show you that I am God. And I am sending you. I have even shown you an example of the burning fire, the burning bush, rather. I've showed you who I am. And you still doubt me. You still tell me you can't talk. I was angry at a point on behalf of God. That point, I thought I was Deputy Jesus. I realized that it was the grace of the Father that was patient with Moses. God was really patient. He said, okay, let me move Aaron with you, but I want to use you. It's you that I've called that I want to use. Moses goes ahead and kills an Egyptian, and God doesn't look at that. He says, no, still my grace is sufficient. I will walk with you. Then we come to David. David even tells us that me, I know. Out of sin, my mother bore me. For me, it wasn't legitimate that my mother was married to my father, that they were in wedlock. No, for me, the way it happened with Solomon, it is the way it happened with David. So he always grew up with that judgment in his heart that, maybe I'm going through this because I don't want to use the word bastard, but I've just used it. And he placed judgment on himself, But God showed him that I'm the God of grace. I will still call you, regardless of how you are brought into this world. I will love you, and I will use you, and I will elevate you to that place of kingship. Download the Salt Media app from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.